Hello everyone. College Multihexa welcomes you to our virtual student pre-departure session. We are very excited to welcome you on board and for you to start your studies with us at College Multihexa. At College Multihexa, we bring the excitement of new knowledge to the students and the outcomes of our teaching and research to the world. Before we start, I would like to take you through the basic features of Zoom webinar. There are multiple options that appear in your control panel. Any questions related to College Multihexa, please put it up in the Q&A section that appears in your control panel. If your questions are not answered during the webinar, you don't have to worry. We will be sending you an email with all the details. Without any further ado, let us begin with today's webinar. Okay, so at College Multihexa, we welcome you all to our city, Saguenay. And I'd like to brief a little bit about College Multihexa. So Multihexa College was established in 1986, and it is almost a 35-year-old institution today. We have trained approximately 5,000 plus students across these 35 years, across the entire region of Quebec. College Multihexa works very closely with the top IT companies that are located in Saguenay and overall in Quebec, so that we can provide good opportunities for internships as well as jobs to the students after the completion of their studies. We provide hands-on training from the best experienced teachers in the industries. We have a small classroom set up with approximately 25 students per class, so that we can maintain our ideal student-to-teacher ratio, which is focused on the teaching. We have all our programs with targeted course content that has been approved by the Quebec Ministry of Education. The students who come to study with us at College Multihexa gets the opportunity to learn French on campus. And when they go for on-campus French classes, they actually get paid by the government for such classes. The best part about living in Saguenay City is the low cost of living with efficient transportation and affordable housing options that you all guys are going to get the benefit of. With that, we're going to discuss a few points related to our pre-departure before we start our January 21 session on campus. I would like to inform everyone that we are still running all our classes in the online modes. So even if you reach Canada, your classes are still going to continue in an online mode instead of you being physically present on campus. Till we have the situation under control, the classes are going to be run online for all of the students. So first things first, you guys need to have a quarantine plan with you all, which should be signed by you and which should be submitted to the college. So I'm sure that all of you must have received the required documents that the college has asked from you that you need to submit back to us. Every student is supposed to carry the copies of the same. That is to be shown at the time of your arrival at the airport. The second thing would be your pre-departure COVID test. Every student has to get a COVID test done 72 hours prior to taking their flights. So make sure that you have a proof of your COVID test report sent to the college. And you also should carry the copies of the same with you that needs to be shown at the time of arrival in Canada. A very important application that all of you need to install in your phone is ArriveCan application that should be installed on your phones. This is one of the applications that is under the guidelines provided by the Government of Canada itself for all of the students, international students who will be coming to Canada. So you need to register yourself on this application while you go to Canada. It is very, very important that the Government of Canada can keep a track of all of the students that are going to reach their country. Moving to the second point, every student should have purchased at least 1 month of travel insurance while they are making their travels to Canada. So this travel should include your cover for basic sickness or if any medical emergencies that might happen while you're traveling to Canada. So this is another a must thing that you all need to do. Now we're going to discuss some of the important documents that you need to carry while traveling. So the first one is going to be your college acceptation letter, which is also called as the letter of admission to the college. You should have a printed copy of the same. Make sure that you have all of this information in your phone saved locally. You also can keep all of these documents on your drive or in emails in case you lose your phone. You can you should be able to log in into your account from any place, and you should be able to retrieve those documents so that you can easily move to Canada. The second point is your visa or the study permit information that you have got. So you should be carrying a printed copy of that as well. You should have your CAQs with you, and your bank details as well. Alex has just joined us, and we're almost in the middle of our session, Alex. So we have our students with us. And
good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning to you. Is everything all right?
Yes, apologies. I had something I had to do this morning, and then I had to come to the college because
no problem at all. I was just taking care of the basics here. So we're on this particular point where we're discussing with the students what all sort of documents they need to carry while they're traveling. So
okay.
I just told them that they have to have the printed copies and the e-copies of the same in their phone saved locally on the drives, on the emails as well, so that it's easy for them to access all of these important documents while they're traveling to Canada. Would you like to take it further from you?
Yeah, tell you what, Mika, just carry on 2 minutes. Let me just open up some.
Okay, no problem at all. I'm just going to continue.
I'll be right there.
Okay, so you need to carry your bank details and of course your passport. That is very, very important. The travel letter is a must, which is going to be issued to you by college Multihexa itself. And you need to have a printed proof of the travel insurance that you have bought for a month, at least a month's duration while you're traveling. Another thing would be your itinerary, which is going to describe everything that you're going to be doing while you're traveling, and then where you'll be going, how your flights are going to connect, and all of that stuff should be included in your itinerary. Then, of course, your quarantine plan. So this document that needs to be signed, called as quarantine plan, that must have been sent to you in emails by now, again needs to be signed and submitted to the college, and you have to have a printed copy of the same with you while you're traveling. You should also have some documents that shows, proof of funds, whatever funds you have with you. Um, and the other sets of documents would be your personal documents, which will include your birth certificate, your driving license. It's good if you have an international driving license. Otherwise, the existing one that you have for India, that would also do. Then the third thing would be your medical information. If you have any kind of sickness or illness, any kind of medical injury or anything that you have, or if you're taking some sort of medications related to the same, you should have a letter related to all of those prescriptions. In case you need any of such prescriptions, we should be able to arrange them for you. The fourth one would be the contact information that should be with you. You should be in constant touch with Alex, of course, and the other team members from College Multihexa, so that we can make sure of your location, and we can make sure that we're going to receive you at the airport while you arrive there, and we can make you reach at your place of quarantine where you're going to quarantine yourself for 14 days. You should have all the contact information from India as well, your parents, us as a NEPA who's in constant touch with you, just to make sure that everything is working smoothly while you travel. So all the information should be with you, and simultaneously that itinerary of yours shall be with us as well, so that we can make sure of your location at each and every point of time while you're traveling to Canada. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this one's related to your luggage. So every student should ensure that they're not carrying anything in their bags that is not accepted at the time of your arrival. So any food, any homemade food in your bags won't be appreciated at all. So it is very much advisable if you don't carry such things with you while you're traveling. Another thing would be just make sure that the weight of your bag is as per the the terms that are provided, as per the allowances of the airlines, whatever they've specified, whatever weights they've mentioned. Okay, so there should be no inconveniences caused due to the extra weights in your bag. Otherwise, they're just going to throw the extra, luggage of yours out, and that won't be ideal at that point of time. Okay, so you should only be carrying the weight that is allowed as per the details provided by your airlines, just to make it short. Other things would be the important things that you guys need to pack with you would be your laptop, which is very important because, like I said, your currently classes are going online. Even if you reach Canada, the classes are still running online, and for you to be able to catch up with your classes, it is very important that you pack your laptops with you. And then, of course, mobile phones, and make sure that you keep your mobile phones charged and do not drain their batteries, so that you are in constant touch with the team, so that they can make sure to receive you at the right time. Make sure to charge all of your devices that would come in handy while you're traveling, and do not forget to pack your chargers for all of the electrical equipments that you'll be carrying with you. Do not pack too much, just the important electrical equipments that you will be requiring. Another thing is your medical face masks. Make sure that you're putting on a medical face mask while you're traveling, and then make sure that you have some extras with you in case you leave one or lose one. So you should have some medical face masks available with you. Then, of course, keep some hand size sanitizers with you in your handbag, so that you can make use of them every now and then while you're, using any public property, while you're traveling to Canada. And then, of course, because there's a lot of winters going on at this point of time in Canada, so you need to pack your heavy jackets and your best suitable shoes for winters, so that they can keep you warm and cozy. Okay, so these are the major things related to your packing stuff. Now we're going to talk about some of the important points, some of which I've already mentioned. So the first one again says that you must be in constant connection through WhatsApp with Alex and the entire team, so that we can make sure that we are, right there to receive you at the right point of time when your flight is arriving in Canada. Also, every student must understand the importance of respecting the 14-day quarantine period. Otherwise, serious consequences can be faced if any of such rules are broken that are listed by the Government of Canada. So you guys must have received all the documents that are needed to be signed. Along with that, we have listed some of the important links, which you have to, just give a read and go through, just to make sure that you are well aware of all the information and all of the important points that the government has listed for you to take care of while you undergo your 14-day quarantine period. So it is very, very important. You will not be allowed to step outside until you complete your 14-day quarantine period. And you don't have to worry, all of your groceries and basic amenities kind of stuff will be provided to you as and when required by Alex and the team and the existing students who are already studying with us at College Multihexa. Another thing would be your travel itinerary should be fully provided to the college. Again, like I said, we have to make sure that we reach on point, on time to receive you at the Saguenay-Bagotville Airport. So your fully completed itinerary shall be provided to us, which I'm sure you must have shared with NEPA by now. Okay. So moving on to the next point, student should have allowed sufficient time between arriving in Montreal or any of the international airport and taking the flight to Bagotville, so that you have enough time through, the immigration checks and customs. So that should basically allow at least 4 to 5 hours for you to complete your immigration checks, which again, everybody has already done, as I made sure when I checked with NEPA. So just make sure that you have enough time between your flights to complete the immigration and custom checks. Moving on to the next point. Student bank information should be provided in advance so that any necessary bank appointments or money transfers can be arranged in case of any sorts of medical emergencies or any other categories of emergencies. And students should have insufficient funds to be able to pay for their necessities for at least several months, because let's be honest, guys, this is not a very good time, not even in Canada, due to COVID-19. There are a lot of services that are at the moment shut, and there's sort of a curfew going on in the region. So it's not going to be very easy to find out part-time jobs for all of you guys. So you should have enough sufficient funds to be able to manage, your basic things things for at least a few initial months while your stay in Canada, such as your apartment rents, your food, your transportation, etc. So just need to make sure of that. You don't have to worry. The team will be trying their best, to find part-time jobs for you, and they're already are actually looking out for part-time jobs for you. Um, so yeah, that is basically it. Alex, would you like to add on anything that I have missed?
Sure. Yeah. Once again, sorry. Sorry for arriving a little bit late this morning, everybody. Hope everyone is well. Good morning. Good morning. There's a couple of documents I could actually show just quickly, which I think we should send to them as well, Bhumika, if that's all right with you. If you can
Yes,
maybe
of
just,
course.
if you can
Yeah,
just let me.
I'm just going to let you share your screen.
How are you, Bhumika?
I'm doing great, Alex. All good, all good. I'm just going to share the rights with you. Nipa, can you do that for me, please?
Yeah, it's done.
All right, cool. So who's missing today? Is it just Ramanjot who's missing?
She already attended the session last week, so
Right.
she is trying to join.
No, that's fine. Cool. Okay. All right, go. I think we might have gone through this document last week. Sorry, it's been quite a busy week. I can't really remember from one day to the next, but this is the student welcome guide, guys. So everyone should either have already received or will be receiving. This is a fun thing to read. You don't have to read it and learn it. I'm not going to test you on it or anything. It's just it's lots of good information about the college itself. Mr. Jacques Perron, the president, who you will meet eventually. So take your time to have a read through it. It'll obviously give you some good information about the college, the team. I'll skip through all that bit right now. There's some useful information about Canada and Quebec itself, if you're interested to just know a little bit about the geography and the history and the weather, those kinds of things, and kind of legal terms and requirements and so on and so forth. So I'll skip that bit. Life in Saguenay is quite interesting to obviously read because that's where you're going to be staying for at least a couple of years. I say great part of the world. So I've been here for 16 years now. So that'll give you a good idea of what's going on here. There's a lot of information about festivals and events that take place in the region. Obviously last year, and who knows what's going to happen this year, we might not have all of these festivals as usual, but let's stay positive and hope that we get back to normal eventually. Preparing for your arrival is obviously a good section to go through. Bhumika's been through some of those points with you, but nice little image there of the kind of kit that you might need to survive the winter. You're going to be here in February, which I warn you now is traditionally the coldest month in Canada. So try and bring what you can. Obviously, you can't overfill your bags either. But I've actually got some kind of winter jackets and bits and stuff here sitting in my office that we can give to students to if you're stuck when you first get here and you're cold and you need a jacket. So. And I can get all sorts of bits and pieces if you need gloves and hats. So don't worry too much, but try and bring what you can. Documents, obviously, again, Bhumika's been through that. That's a very, very key point. If you almost forget everything else, as long as you bring your documents, that's pretty important. So the obvious ones: passport, visa information, CAQ information, insurance, the travel insurance that obviously you need to book for at least a month. Driving license, and if you're thinking of driving eventually when you get here, we've got a student who's already here who wants to. He actually got himself an international driving license before leaving India. That I would recommend very highly. It's actually going to make a lot easier for you to then be able to drive here if you wish to do so. Any documents that you've been sent by from the college proving that you're obviously a student. I'll show you something else in a minute, a travel letter that I'm going to send to each one of you. All your bank information, bank cards, bring some cash as well, some Canadian cash. That's going to be useful. It's always useful to have a bit of cash to start off with, again, for emergencies. And then obviously your personal items, I appreciate you're coming here for a long time. So there's going to be some personal items you'd want to bring with you. Just again, be careful of how heavy all your bags are. There's a really good link here to the Canadian Border Services Agency, which talks all about the kind of things you can and cannot pack in luggage. So again, if you've got food and stuff that you do like. Just be careful that make sure you can actually bring it with you. I always recommend to people, make yourself a checklist, go through this document, go through a couple of the other documents and make yourself a checklist. And, once you've packed something and you've got it ready to go, tick it off the list. It's just a good way of organizing yourself because, traveling is always a little bit stressful and it's easy enough to forget things. So, make yourself a list and keep it up to date. And that's going to really help you get yourselves prepared. Obviously any medical requirements that you have, even if it's just an existing condition, even, if it just requires a prescription medication, get yourself as much prescription medication as you can before you leave. Obviously, at the moment it's tough seeing doctors and stuff at the moment. I'm not going to lie to you. They're just very busy with obviously the big priority, which is the COVID situation. So if you do have prescription medication and you can get plenty of it before you leave, and just get some proof and some medical background for your condition, that's a really good idea. All right, that's going to help you at least when you initially arrive. Accommodation, don't worry about your accommodation. We have it all prepared. I spoke with the guy yesterday. We've got a fantastic plan in place so that every single person will be able to arrive, go straight to their apartment that they will have throughout the time that they're here. Obviously, you don't have to stay there for 2 years, but you'll have it for at least a year. So you'll be able to go there and do your quarantine, which is fantastic. So we don't need to kind of go to an intermediate, like a short-term, a temporary accommodation before going to your apartment. You can go straight there and do your quarantine. Obviously, those of you that arrive together can quarantine together. There'll be some, you'll have to be very careful about respecting the restrictions, not mixing and not eating your meals together and stuff like that. But that's already in place. So for all of you that are asking the question about what address to put in the quarantine plan, do not worry. Those addresses will be coming to you very, very, very soon. Probably by Monday, everyone will have the address that they require to put in that part of the document. So that's good. Medical insurance, say travel insurance is absolutely important, guys, but do not buy anything for more than, just a month or so. After that, you will be on the college medical insurance plan, which is the equivalent of the Quebec insurance that, citizens here get, which is $61 a month, I think. So, make sure you calculate that in your budget as well. Banks, as I've mentioned to some of you before, we have plenty of banks in the region. We just don't have all of them. Scotia Bank, we can get you to a Scotia Bank very easily, no problem. HSBC is a good one. ICICI is a bit more of a complicated one, but it's always possible if you've got that account that will just open you up a different bank account here locally, and you can obviously transfer money after that. And that's, again, it's not the easiest thing to get a bank appointment at the moment, but I know a couple of people who work in the bank, so we can get you that sorted out. Arrival at the airport, obviously myself, somebody else will be there to meet you. At the moment, guys, this is a little extra point. Due to the restrictions, what I can't do is take you in my car to your accommodation. So what we're going to be doing is arranging taxis to take you. The taxis have plexiglass installed at the moment in them and all that they require for the COVID situation. So we will meet you there. We will put you in taxis. The taxi is about $30 to $40, guys. All right. So that's something you'll need a bit of cash money for. But we'll be there to greet you. Somebody will also be there to meet you at the apartment and get you set up there for your 14-day quarantine period. Okay, so don't worry about that either. Again, accommodation is covered. Transport is obviously more when you're here and settled. We will get you set up with a student bus pass. So you'll be able to use the bus services. You can't use them in your first 2 weeks. Okay, you can't use public transport either in the first 2 weeks. This related to things like groceries. Again, don't worry. Myself and the Indian students who are already here are going to happily help out, going and do some grocery shopping for you. We will come and drop it off at the front door of your apartment and provide you with the groceries that you need so you can feed yourselves for a couple of weeks. So please don't worry about that. Then there's some general information about in the region, the services that there are, medical services, emergency services, bus services, immigration and integration services. For any of those kind of questions, while you're here, you come to me, all right? And I've got all the contacts and I'll get you in touch with the people that, if you've got any big, situations related to immigration, integration. Obviously, the French courses we're going to get you signed up to. Again, I'll take care of all that for you. Bit of information about shops. Some of the important shops you're going to need, things like supermarkets, obviously the most important ones for doing your food shopping. Places where you can get computer supplies if you want to get yourself a laptop when you're here, no problem at all. And the main shopping centres for clothes and stuff. They're all closed at the moment until the 8th of February. Good piece of news is that the COVID cases have gone down dramatically in the region. We only had 12 new cases yesterday, which was great. No new cases would obviously be great, but we were at a point where we had, hundreds of cases a day, and we've come right down to only 12. So it's very positive. Obviously, we've been under a curfew for a few weeks, and it still goes on until the 8th of February. And then obviously they'll make a decision as to what happens next. But, fingers crossed. There's even some talk that the university and other colleges will actually start being able to have their students back on the campus, which is a really positive thing for us, because it would probably hopefully mean the same thing for us. So it might mean that when I've obviously warned you, you might be online from your apartments when you get here. It might not be for too long. You may actually be able to come and join us at the campus and be taught in class, which is obviously what we're all very much looking forward to. So we'll monitor that situation, and we'll keep our fingers crossed. Some other general information about gyms and parks and places you can go and visit in the region, and restaurants and cinemas, which are not open at the moment either. But, again, fingers crossed it all will be soon. Employment itself, you have to get what's called a social insurance number when you get here. I will help you take care of that. It's pretty straightforward to do. And that will obviously then help you to be able to get a job and obviously earn some money. As Bhumika mentioned, sorry, it's tough finding a job at the moment because there are a lot of businesses closed. But again, I've got lots of contacts. I'm already speaking to them. If anything comes up, we will get you set up with a job as quickly as we can. I will help you individually make what's called a curriculum vitae, a resume, which will obviously contain some of your information that we can give to employers. And obviously I will be a point of contact for them. So, they can come to me. We can set you up with an interview if needed. I can take you along to see people. So don't worry, I'm going to be running around for you to do everything that I can for jobs as well. French classes, obviously we've mentioned. This is absolutely important for you to do them. They're normally in the evenings. It's little classes of 3 hours in the evenings, 2 or 3 days a week. And again, they're doing them online at the moment, but it's possible that everyone will go back into a classroom situation. Once everybody's here, they may well actually give the French classes at the college, which is nice. They've offered to do that, send a teacher and just teach you all at the college, which is fun. So then there's plenty of information about activities we do here at the college. We often organize, we have a day where we go and play some mini golf, which is fun, and we take you out for a couple of activities. It's all a bit restricted once again because of COVID, but we will have some activities with you guys. I'd like to take you all to see what's called a maple shack, where obviously where they literally produce maple syrup, which is a lot of fun. It's very Canadian, and that's an activity we were hoping to do with the guys who arrived last year, but we couldn't. So it's a good idea. It's a good thought for that. We might get everyone in a bus and take you to one of those as well. And then look, plenty of other activities, winter or summer. There's lots to do here, guys. It's a beautiful outdoor life. There's lots of amazing nature to go and explore. So you can read about that, and obviously things that if you see things that you like and you'd like to do, you can tell me. We can plan a student day out, no problem at all. So this useful things to know section is useful to know, as it says. This is important stuff about mobile phones, for example. It's going to be very important for you guys to have your phones and be able to use them. And speak to your families. There are good kind of pay-as-you-go packages that the students here are using at the moment, where you can get yourself obviously a Canadian SIM card, and pay-as-you-go. Obviously, the key thing here, guys, is I know in India it's a bit different. People just generally tend to use lots of data each month. It's different here with the mobile plans, and data costs a lot more money in Canada than it does in India. So the most key thing here is once you've got your Canadian SIM card is to use the Wi-Fi all the time. You'll obviously have Wi-Fi in your apartments. Use the Wi-Fi, otherwise you will use your data up extremely quickly and it will start costing a lot of money. So once you've got your Canadian plan, use the Wi-Fi all the time, and that way you're not going to be paying any extra. Then there's lots of information about power supply, for example. If you bring certain devices, you're going to need maybe an adapter to actually use them. There are different voltage levels here in North America compared to the rest of the world. So it's important just to check on that. A lot of things these days can do the conversion, all right? So they can convert 120 volts and 240 volts without any issue. Things like mobile phones and stuff that plug in using USB cables. But just, for example, for anyone who's got a hairdryer, that might only apply to Charanjeet, I don't know, but that kind of thing, you have to be careful plugging them in here because it's using a higher voltage than it is here. So it's just a question of having adapters for those kinds of things, as you can see in the image here. And then there's some details, general details about life here: sales tax, being polite, being on time, budgeting. I'm going to show you a little budget guide, which will be sent as well separately. And balancing your life, guys. It's going to be a big experience. Some of you, it's your first trip anywhere, maybe in the world. So you're coming here for a long time. You're going to have classes at college, French classes, a job. It's important to be able to balance your weeks and obviously take some rest and do some activities as well, just to enjoy yourself and not just be spending all your time studying. So some information about Canadian money and lots of other things, and then some good websites that you can visit if you want to read a little bit more about some tips to moving to Canada. Little question about, this is just good points when coming here, just to make sure that you'll feel comfortable and happy here, getting rest, not being afraid to ask questions. Obviously, you can always come to me with questions, keeping active, getting out and taking a walk, even if it's cold, meeting people, staying warm, those kinds of things, and obviously keeping in touch with your family at home so you don't feel too far from them. All right, so that's the student guide. Take your time to read it when you get sent it. There's some interesting information and some good websites to visit as well. What I wanted to do, guys, I'll do it right now, actually, is, hang on, which one is it? This one. Most of you have been sent the quarantine plan, all right? And we obviously had Sahil, who left yesterday, who kind of rushed it a little bit before he left. So he had to do that a bit last minute. So I don't want you guys to be in that situation. This guide I created myself. I mean, all the colleges are doing them. So obviously I've taken lots of advice from the necessary ministries and so on to put it together. It's extremely important that you complete one and you send it to me. So do it as quickly as you can. Send it to me. Once I've signed it, that's ready to go and you're done. All right. And then you can put that to the side and make sure you remember it, obviously, when you travel. It's extremely important, the quarantine, guys. There are some very heavy penalties if you don't do it and if it's not respected. So no messing around with that one. All right. Please just make sure the plan is done. And when you get here, you respect everything that you need to do. You self-isolate and you do absolutely everything you can for 14 days to respect that. There's this Arrive Can app, which is important. You can install it on your phones, whether it's an iPhone, whatever it is, you can install it on your phone. That is a way of them tracking you in a sense. So they can track a person who arrives in Canada. They can track that your flights are where they should be. They can track that you're doing your quarantine as you should be, that you've arrived at the quarantine address that you specified you would be staying at. So that's another important factor. What you've got to do with this guide, guys, all right? So pay attention to this part because obviously I've already had a few questions about it. So just follow me. I've actually created an example. So I filled in the answers, if you like, as an example. And I will happily send this to everyone, all right? What I don't want you to necessarily do is just copy paste my answers because each answer is individual to each person. So, but it will give you an idea of the information that you're supposed to put under each section, okay? So this bit's easy. You just need to tick the boxes. You just need to tick a box. You can print out and tick the box just to say, yes, I've done this. Yes, I've done the other. That part is very simple to do. Personal details. Again, that's very straightforward. Your name, your date of birth, your home address, contact telephone. You can put one of your family members if you like as well. That's a useful number to have in an emergency. And obviously your email address. All right, so that section's straightforward. Make sure you do it neatly, all right, because I need to be able to read it. The immigration needs to be able to read it, so make sure it's done neatly. Travel information, as you can see, this is from the flight information from your origin, so in India, to the first port of entry in Canada. So the first port of entry is the first airport you arrive at in Canada. A lot of you, I think it's Toronto, or if it's Montreal direct, that's fine. Departure date, arrival date, flight number and airline, arrival airport, arrival time, and your passport number. Okay, so that section should be fine. Travel information from your first port of entry to Canada to Saguenay. So obviously if you arrive at Toronto and then you've got to go maybe to Montreal and then to Saguenay, obviously you need to specify that. If you go to Montreal straight direct and then you go to Saguenay, put that information in again, please. And then the third section here is about the information of how you're going to get from the airport in Saguenay to your quarantine accommodation. All right. Now I've kind of put some information in there already for you. And you can pretty much copy what I've put in that section, okay, because it's going to be the same for everybody. So the college are arranging a taxi service from the airport and will obviously be there to meet you. As you can see, either myself or Francis Gagné, who's helping out with them, he's kind of in charge of all the accommodation for me. One of us two will be there at the airport to meet and greet you, make sure you get in a taxi, and then we'll accompany you to the accommodation and make sure you're all settled in there, all right? So those bits there, you can pretty much make a copy of what I've written, all right? Because that applies to everybody. The bit that's my quarantine plan in Saguenay, this is where it has to be done individually, guys, all right? So once again, I've put some example answers in this document, which I'll send out to you, but don't just copy them because it has to be your own information, all right? So names and number of people accompanying you. This one I filled out as examples for Sahil because he was traveling alone. So it says I'm traveling alone. But in some of your cases, you're flying with 2 or 3 other people. You need to put their names in there. And you need to mention maybe that you're going to be in the same quarantine place with them as well. The name, arrival time. Yes, sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. The thing
Yes,
is,
no, please do.
like a lot of people don't know that who all are coming together. So I have already sent you an itinerary. I would request you to, at the end of the session, just reveal the names that who all are coming on the same dates. Most
Sure.
of don't have the information who all are coming together.
Okay, no, that's fine, no problem. Yeah, I'll check on that. But that's obviously just important for that section that each person does, specify they're with somebody else. But I'll check that, no problem, Nipa, yeah. All right, arrival time, airport name, arrival time, date and location in the province of Quebec. So that's the information of your flight to Saguenay. All right, so that's obviously your kind of final airport you're going to be coming to in Canada. So that you need to put the information in there yourself. Transportation to the mandatory 14-day quarantine accommodation. Again, this bit you can basically copy, guys. All right, so everyone's going to be using, it's the same taxi service. So you can copy that particular part into your quarantine plan. Address of the quarantine location. All right, and the type of accommodation. So the address is what I will be providing you with. The landlord of the accommodation is going to send you an email as well that confirms that you're going to be staying there, that he's obviously happy with the situation, you're doing your quarantine there. That will be a good proof that you can take with you to immigration as well. So you will get a good letter from him about your status and your accommodation with him. So you just need to fill in the address. The type of accommodation is an apartment. That's all you need to put. But obviously the address is important. And you can put, once the landlord sends you his letter, you can put his name and his telephone number as well. All right. Groceries and essential services. This section, once again, guys, you can copy basically the answer I've put here as an example. It's going to be the same for everybody. We will be helping you out, delivering you groceries that you need. So for 14 days, you don't have to worry too much about that. Immediately available funds for groceries, medication, etc. Just put some basic information. You don't need to write pages of information. Just put some basic information as to the fact that yes, I have a credit card. Yes, I have some Canadian cash. You can specify how much cash you've got to cover my needs for 14 days. All right. You don't have to put all of your bank information. You just need to specify that I have a credit card. It's Visa or MasterCard, for example. And yes, I have some Canadian cash. So I've got what I need to pay for my services for 2 weeks. In the section, I have the following medical travel insurance. You must put the name of the insurer. So you must put the name of the travel insurance company, the policy number, and how long you have the insurance for. All right. So you can always put the date that it expires, for example. Make sure it's for at least a month. And then, as you can see in the description, you will then be placed after your quarantine period. You will then be placed on the student medical insurance here at the college. And then you're covered for the whole time you're here. All right. So you just need to specify that information. I have enough prescription medication to cover me for 1 month. All right. So if you do have a medical condition of any kind, get at least a month's worth of prescription. I personally would recommend getting a bit more, just to give us a chance to, if you do need to renew a prescription, to get us a chance to find you a pharmacy and a doctor and so on. Get as much as you need, and just obviously specify that in your answer here if it is your case. If it doesn't apply to you, just put doesn't apply. Simple as that. Any of these situations don't apply to you. If you're flying alone, for example, just put doesn't apply in the answer. That's fine. Or not applicable, as I mentioned here. Contact name, number, and email addresses of the college representatives there to assist me from my arrival and support me throughout my 14-day quarantine. You can basically copy that answer. That is myself. So you've got my cell phone number, you've got my office number at the college, my email address, so you can put that answer in there, no problem. Any other information that may be relevant to your arrival, if you have any particular special case, you can put it in there, or you can simply just put, I have all the essentials for my quarantine period and resources available to help me. You can pretty much put the same answer I put in there. And then you get to the end. I confirm I am a student at Multihexa College, and I confirm I will follow the quarantine plan described. Put your name, put the date and the date that you sign it on, and then you just send it back to me. I'll obviously complete the last section here and send it back to you, and then you can print it out, and then you have your quarantine plan ready to go. All right. So, I don't know if we're going to do some questions and answers at the end, but that's obviously... Shall I just keep talking, Bhumika? Or?
No, it's okay. It's okay. I think we've covered major points for today's pre-departure session, and we will be taking up the question and answer section because it's very important, and I don't want any student to be leaving from India with some questions in their head. So let's answer those right away. Nipa will be giving the access to the students so that they can come forward and put up their question. Guys, if you have any questions, please put it up in the Q&A section so that we can pick up your questions and answer it, and everyone can understand.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Bhumika, I know you don't want to hear me talk all day long. I'm just going to talk very quickly about 3 other documents we're going to send to them.
Yes, please.
I won't go through in too much detail, but I'll just say you're going to get these documents. All right. So one is the luggage guide. It's a separate little guide. It's only 2 pages or 3 pages, just to make sure you remember some of the conditions required for your luggage and your hand luggage. For example, liquids. They're very fussy about how liquids are, how much liquid and how it's stored when you carry it in your hand luggage. So this guide here, you're going to receive it, guys. So please take the time to read it. There's some websites as well. Just mentioning the important stuff you should carry as hand luggage, the stuff you should put in your main luggage, and obviously respecting anything to do with liquids, for example. So this talks all about that, guys. It's only a 3-page document. You will receive that. So make sure you take the time to read that one. There is one about airport arrival procedure. This was made pre-COVID, guys, so it's going to be a little different now, but it's still going to be useful, all right? It talks again, there's a checklist you can use here for your documents that you need. There's some of the steps you'll take when you get probably to either Montreal or Toronto when they guide you through to get luggage, to go to immigration. So you'll see some of the steps you need to take at that point. And then obviously going to Bagotville, there's some information on that. There's also some information, guys, if you do have a problem where a flight gets cancelled or whatever it is, and you're going to be running late, what to do, not to panic, get in touch with me. Obviously, we'll make all the arrangements and we'll help you out with that. And then there's a student budget guide, guys. This, obviously, hopefully you've already had a little think about this. Accommodation's about $400 a month. You've got a cell phone, which is going to be about $50 a month. Some of the grocery costs, medical insurance, and the bus pass. Those 5 there, if you like, at the top are essentials. All right. And then after that, there's a bit of information about some of the other stuff that, you can spend money on if you wish to do so. So those ones you will receive all of, plus the student welcome guide. Was there another one I wanted to talk about? And there's one other thing, this travel letter. very simple travel letter that I produce. I will produce one for each person once I receive your quarantine plan. I'm not going to send you it until I've got that quarantine plan. All right. So this is just a very simple travel letter to say that, yes, the college knows that you're coming, that you've made your quarantine plan, that you're going to be a student for 2 years at our college. This is another important thing you can carry with you for immigration. So this you will receive once I've received and we've completed your quarantine plan. All right. And now I'm going to stop talking.
Okay, so guys, if you have any questions, please put it up in the chat box and we can pick up your questions one by one. Or I mean, the students are allowed to talk if anybody wants to talk. So you can unmute yourselves or maybe put your videos back on and then let us know if there's anything.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Suhas.
Ma'am, I have a question that do we need a travel support letter?
Yes, like we described, it is very much important for you to have a travel support letter, which will be given to you once you sign the quarantine plan document.
Yeah, what we're trying to do, guys, is we're trying to, in a sense, give you more rather than less for coming through immigration, all right? Because we don't want anyone getting stuck. We're lucky that students can travel to Canada at the moment because there are a lot of people that can't travel. So you're lucky that you do have this opportunity to come despite of the COVID situation. What I want to avoid, and I'm working as hard as I can to do, is anyone getting stuck at immigration because they haven't got the correct quarantine documents, whatever it might be. So we're giving you more rather than less. So this support letter, it's only a very short letter, but it's just another confirmation that, you've got everything in place to do your 14-day quarantine, and obviously that you're going to be at the college with us for 2 years. So.
Is that also Suhas?
One question I have about the insurance policy for the 1 month.
Just hang on, Arshdeep. Let me complete it with Suhas. Suhas, is this answered properly? Any other question?
Ma'am, I have one other question that do we get the address of quarantine on WhatsApp or mail?
You will get it in emails. If you want, we can send it in WhatsApp also. Don't worry, we'll try to give you all the information that you need to fill in your quarantine plan document. You don't have to worry about it. It is very important. In order for you to reach Canada, we want to make sure that everything is done properly. So if there's anything left, we'll let you know, and all of this information will be definitely provided to you. Try to be more active on emails, rather than just WhatsApp.
Yeah, guys, that's a point as well. Obviously, everything's going to be sent out as documents in email. All right, WhatsApp's fine. What you must remember as well is when you get to the airport, you need to have all this stuff printed out. You need to have an actual physical copy. But equally, you need to have on your phone access to the email, so you've got a digital copy as well. But yeah, I mean, WhatsApp we're going to use for keeping in touch and stuff like that. But for official documents, try and familiarize yourself with using your emails as well.
Right. So I hope that answers your question, Suhas. So let's move on to Arshdeep.
Yes, as earlier said, Alex said we need insurance policy for a 1 month. So is there any agencies certified with Multihexa, or we can do randomly with any kind of agency?
Now, listen, for the insurance, the first insurance you're going to buy is you're going to obviously be buying in India. So I can't advise you at all. I have no idea of the insurance companies in India. The key thing you need to make sure you've got is you need to talk to whoever it is, or try, the different agencies you speak to, that you get a policy that gives you as much travel health insurance coverage for that 1 month period when you arrive in Canada. And that also, it specifies, some kind of coverage in case of illness related to the COVID situation. I'm assuming that most insurance companies now have, because of the situation we've faced in the last year or so, some kind of extra part in their agreements that is related to COVID. So just make sure you've got that, because obviously if you get here and you fall sick with COVID, you need to be sure that you're covered to be cared for that. And obviously, you know, normally travel insurance is going to cover you for medical emergencies. You know, you arrive and you break your leg, whatever it is. But yeah, COVID is obviously an extra factor that needs to be covered. So you, unfortunately, I can't help on that. I mean, I just don't have time to go around all the Indian travel agents, travel insurance companies. So you need to check into that. You've got a bit of time. Just make sure you've got a policy, as I say, for a month and you're well covered, including COVID.
Okay,
Is it
sir.
clear,
Thank you.
Arshdeep? Okay, good. Anybody else having any question can unmute themselves. Well, I think everyone has already sorted their questions with Nipa. She's always been the go-to point of contact for the students. So anybody having any sort of questions can definitely write an email to us. And don't worry, we'll be providing all the information to you in email. And you know, just be active on your emails from now onwards, because email is a more official sort of communication that we tend to keep in terms of all of the documents and, you know, everything that you'll be doing with the college. So that is it. Anything else, Alex, from your end?
No, I don't think so. From my end, as I say, I'll make sure I send all of these documents to you guys, Bhumika and Nipa, and we can distribute them out to the students.
Sure. Yeah, we'll be sending all of those documents to the students. Some of them we've already sent. Some
Yeah,
of are still
exactly.
pending. We have sent some of the important links that are provided by the Government of Canada so that students can go through the important information. Guys, it's very important. Please go through it once. Just a quick read. Nipa, is there anything that you would like to mention that we should discuss?
I think everything has been covered already.
Okay. So thank you for your time, students. We hope to see you on campus very, very soon. All the very best for your travels. We'll be keeping in touch through emails till then. And we'll
Just
see
one
you.
thing.
Actually, if it's all right, Bhumika, I will say one other thing, actually.
Yeah, sure, please.
Obviously, most of you are new and have just joined up with classes, apart from Charanjit, who obviously joined last year. It's been pretty tough this year, guys, classes. Obviously, for you new guys, I know it probably seems to be moving along pretty slow. And there's so many, I don't know why, but there's so many. It's worse than the last year, the connection problems that people are having, and people are coming and going. And myself and Danny, who obviously are teaching you at the moment, we've been talking a lot, and we're both just not moving forward as we should be. I mean, we're only halfway through the material we should be. Obviously not your faults in any way, guys. What we've discussed, though, is that as some of you are traveling out as well in the next couple of weeks, and there's days where you're all going to be missing. Hang on a sec, Charanjit. There's days where you're all going to be missing classes. Some of you are actually flying on exam days. We are going to be pushing the midway exams by at least, I would say, 2 weeks, because it's just not realistic at the moment. We're not really going to be where we should be because of everyone who's dropping in and dropping out of the classes and stuff. So I just want to kind of reassure you not to worry about the online classes too much. You need to keep attending as much as you can. We're going to move forward as much as we can, but we're going to be pushing the exams to give everyone a chance to be here in the country, which is going to make life a lot easier for everybody when it comes to the online classes. So I just wanted to, I'll send out a kind of review, a new version of the schedule for the next couple of months. So I'm just trying to plan it, but we're going to push stuff a little bit so it gives you all a chance to arrive here and you know, have better internet connections and stuff like that. So I just thought I'd mention that point now.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of today's session. And like I said, we'll soon be seeing everyone on campus. Till then, yeah, Charanjit, please let us know.
I want to ask one thing. Ramanjot is coming with me in same airline, so I should fill that information in form.
Yeah, Charanjit, we will let each and every student know what name to fill in that particular column. We will let you know who all are traveling with you. सबको सबके नाम बताए जाएंगे.
Ramanjot told me that all.
Yes, she is traveling with you, Charanjit, but
Yes.
rest, all the students are not having the information, so we will arrange everything and send it to you via email. So don't worry, but yes, she is traveling with you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Also, guys, it's really request you all that please, on your videos, we really wanted to have a screenshot. If possible, please everyone come with the videos on just for a minute or so.
Couple of seconds.
Yeah.
Okay,
These
do
people are
you
really
have
lovely.
the thumbnail option appearing on your screen, Nipa, to take a screenshot? Because I don't have it on my screen right now.
What is that? I really don't know.
Okay, I am going to check it.
Alex, can you do that?
Okay, I got it. I got it. The
Yeah,
gallery. I got it.
Okay.
I
got
can do
it.
it. No problem. Yeah.
I can do it too now. Okay, so if we can have everyone's smiling face. Okay, I've taken 2 screenshots.
Thank you,
All right.
people.
Thank you so much, guys. See you soon again on campus.
All right. Nice to see everybody, guys. Thank you for being there, and I'll see you soon. All right. Don't worry, we're going to take care of you. So.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.